Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to work on a double kettlebell exercise, a classic hang version of a monster lift, the double kettlebell dead hang clean squat press. Double kettlebells are oftentimes treated very much like barbell training. They fall into the same category of what they do. For the most part, for probably 90% of the population, 95% of the population of kettlebellers will treat this exercise as a strength training movement. This is what's in the category of what we call a monster lift. A monster lift is, say, 3 movements stacked on top of each other. So in this, we have a clean, a primary movement in kettlebell, barbell, dumbbell, everything, a squat, primary to everything, and a press, primary to everything. What separates this from other types of movements, the difference is that this is a dead hang clean. Dead meaning the kettlebells will come to a stop. They will no longer be carrying kinetic energy in a swing. We will swing, we will come to a stop, we will lock our legs, a dead hang like you have in barbell, and then restart the movement. So this is a variation of a swing clean squat press. With this exercise, like all kettlebell exercises, how we start is very, very important. Stand up to your bells, go out so that you have maybe 2 fingers width away from the bells. With kettlebells, for the most part, we're going to point our feet generally straight ahead. With double bells, shorter people may turn out slightly to avoid their knees, but for the most part, our goal with kettlebelling is to keep our feet generally straight ahead because they are more endurance weightlifting exercises. We treat them more like running, and you should probably run with your feet pointed straight ahead if you want the arches of your feet to fire well. So same thing here. Feet generally straight ahead, drive out from the knees. Hands go into the corner of your hips, sit back, weight in the heels. The toe is for the most part behind the knee at the bottom of the movement. If your toes drive forward and your heels lift up, people tend to be quad dominant, using the front of their leg with this exercise. With all cleans, barbell, kettlebell, dumbbell, we are trying to load the posterior chain, the muscles in the back of our body. So think weight in the heels, knees behind the lines of the toes to start. Take your hands, push them into the crease of your hip, sit back, weight generally towards the rear part of your foot, double clean, the weight's up. At the top, think elbows together, wrists flat. We are avoiding any barbell wrist or big bent wrist. The weight should be sitting on the lower corner of your hands. Hands down at 45-degree angles. Get your fingers out of the way so you're not slamming your fingers together. Touch the kettlebells together every time. Now we are going to start. Push the weight down, stand all the way up. This is the dead hang. The kettlebells are not moving, we are standing all the way up. We will start the clean. Go down, drive up like a barbell, get your fingers out of the way. Squat down as low as you can, lean back, 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 lift the chest, stand up, squeeze the glutes, hold the glute squeeze, press. Bring the weights down. Some people will go straight down, some people will go back and stop. Let's try the go back and stop method. Push back, lock out, stop the bells, dead hang. Straight up, straight down, clean, fingers out of the way. Squat, lean back, verticalize the spine, stand up, press. Squeeze the glutes as hard as you can. Let's go straight down on this one. Straight down, stand up, lock out, dead hang. Clean, squat, lean back, lift the chest, get as low as you can. Stand up, press to overhead lockout. Bring the weight down. Any way you want, lockout, dead hang. The kettlebells are not moving and they are in the hang position. Clean, squat, press. Bring them down. Dead hang, lock out, squeeze the glutes. Clean, squeeze the glutes. Get down, lean back, stand up, press. Bring them down. To set the weights down, push back, set the bells down exactly where they started. Think of double kettlebells at this point in training a lot like Olympic lifting, In Olympic lifting, you have all your basics. You have your deadlift, you have your clean from the ground, right? You have your hang clean, high and low. And now think of kettlebells as being kind of like that in this context. You have your clean squats, you have your thrusters, you have your clean and press, you have your clean and jerk. Double kettlebells follow that exact same model. For most people, the order of progress in kettlebells is single kettlebell for quite a long time. They do a swing program, a clean and press program until they can do at least, say, 5 sets of 5 reverse ladders, up to 32K for men. For ladies, that goes to maybe 12, 16, 20K, depending on how tall and how big their skeleton is. Then they do a get up program, then they do a single kettlebell squat program, then they do a snatch program, then they've mastered the basics of single kettlebell, then they go to double kettlebell and they start treating it a lot like Olympic lifting. Twice as much weight. For most people, it is treated as strength training, and you're doing it in sets of say 3, 2, 5. You're gonna practice your double kettlebell deadlift, both suitcase and between the legs. You'll practice your double kettlebell swing program. Then you will have double kettlebell clean and press. And then you're gonna start mixing in the squats. Clean to squat, swing clean to squat, dead clean to squat, swing clean and press, swing clean squat press. All these variations, they all lay out like an Olympic lifting program for most people. The difference between Olympic lifting and kettlebells is that kettlebells move in this, what you might consider a natural path for the shoulder. Rack position, holding a weight in front of your body. This load is very similar to every load that you will see in martial arts if you're picking people up, or if you work for a living and you actually carry heavy objects. You never carry a symmetrical object. You always carry an object with a weight outside the line of your hand. It's called an offset center of mass. The shoulder in lifting, we would like to move in the most natural path possible. And as much as I love barbells, we could say that they move in a less natural path. People will fight with me about that forever, but that is something that I think of. Think of your kettlebell lineup as like the lineup of a punch. Barbell lineup is different. Think of it like carrying a table. It's a different elbow lineup, a different wrist lineup. Double kettlebells are, for the most part, cheaper than all of this stuff. You can get 2 competition adjustable kettlebells and get, let's say, $500 or $600 all in, whereas something like this giant Bells of Steel squat rack, this represents about $15,000 worth of stuff. The question is, what is your buy-in with these exercises? Most people will get everything that they need from just simple double competition adjustable kettlebells and running all of these various programs. That will give about 99.99999% of the population everything that they need. Professional athletes can jump out to bigger, more expensive programs, but for the most part, your normal person understanding the basics of kettlebells will give people all the fitness that they truly need.